10 or 20%. No droids, no bunnies, no Raylos, no Ray Nobodies, no Disney, Star Wars fans of any kind, unless you're on Team Favreau, Team Filoni, Mandalorian, Ahsoka fan, unless you stand with Gina Carano, unless you stand with OG Star Wars, and you are here to fight for truth and justice. Justice for Gina. And you can see through the lies of Kathleen Kennedy, Jason Ward, and the rest of these people. I want to, again, reiterate, Ward going on to Deseret News is a big signal to me. A big signal that he was told to get the word out. All right, I've explained the link he may have. Hi, Paul. The link that man, or not man, whatever he is, may have to, hey, Senator Dave, to Kathleen Kennedy herself. So let's talk about gaslighting. Now you saw the thumbprint. Let's look it up here. I should have this set up. Why don't I do that? I'm sorry. So, unorganized. What are you doing to me? Okay, here we go. And we're going to do this. We're going to find out what gaslighting is first. Because it happens all the time. And this damn thing. All right, just a second. I'm going to take you guys off of the power here. I'm sorry. This is just me being disorganized. But gas lighting happens all the time. It happens everywhere to a lot of different people. It is very much something that we'll go into images and I'll show you. All right, well, we'll go into the dictionary. It's a verb. Gaslighting, present participle. Manipulate someone by psychological means into questioning their own sanity. Now, when you look at, let's go to the images. I forget, this is not, okay, what in the hell? Why did you do that to me? Here it is. Okay, I'll show it to you. All right. Now, does this look familiar to you? Does this seem like Disney and the Bobs might be experiencing something like this? You know, Wookie, no, that's not really gaslighting. That's just because you're stupid and it's manipulation. This is different. Their actions don't match their words. Kathleen Kennedy, she's a victim here, right? She's the one who caused all this. She's trying to blame The Mandalorian and Jon Favreau for the fans' backlash against firing Gina Carano. That was Gina's fault. It's really just, and it's like, it doesn't match what's really going on. Distracts from their behavior by projecting onto you. Okay, hey, Anton. Distracts from their behavior. Now think about that. She's projecting her own behavior onto the fans, onto John and Dave, and others who don't agree with her Star Wars ideas. She makes degrading comments about the fans and about people like around her. And then yeah, and there, all right, this part right here is very interesting. This one right here. Attempting to block or are unsupportive of your growth. Well, what is she doing to the Mandalorian? Well, and now she's lying and denying what's going on, the proof, and telling us all we're all crazy for knowing when it was true. I want to explain that that's a big thing. And from what I gathered, even though I really wish the guys at Midnight's Edge, if Tom is watching, if anybody is, maybe I'll even ask him to. He didn't go into Kennedy being afraid. Hey, John 42, of Kennedy being afraid too much in their own chat, and I had to leave, so I couldn't listen to. Yeah, see, I mean, she's basically projecting. You know, it's really funny when you look at what happened to Gina. It's obvious that it was a setup. It was a setup to get Favreau and Filoni. And from what I gather, the Bobs are having none of it. But I haven't gotten definitive word, and no one is saying anything. Oh, by the way, Robot Head put up a cryptic tweet today, basically saying he's got a Gina video out, and Kathleen Kennedy's going to be royally pissed. So apparently other people with their contacts are coming out. Okay. This is not going to be a happy time for her. And if she's scared, that means they saw what she was doing. Again, I'm going to say this again. I don't think Kennedy told the Bobs what she was doing before she did it with Gina. I think she did it. She put it out in the press, told the Bobs. Iger that therefore had to call Jon Favreau. John went ballistic. Okay, then we still have the mystery man out there saying, if you don't clean up Lucasfilm, I'm walking away from Star Wars. Somebody connected to Star Wars. Who? You know, I've because I think they all now realize what's going on. And I did some research, and I want to tell you guys to look for these guys. First off, Vanguard Group Incorporated, BlackRock Incorporated, State Street Corp. These companies are the biggest investors that Disney has. They're the ones that will be at the big meeting on March 9th. It would probably behoove the Bobs to get rid of her before then, because if Chapek walks in and they're doing this, what the fuck is going on with Lucasfilm? There's going to be hell to pay. Now, I have the names of the people that run these things. Mortimer J. Buckley is the CEO of Vanguard. Larry Fink is the CEO of BlackRock. And Ronald O. Hanley is the CEO of State Street Corp. These guys are the ones that when I look at who can actually make them do something, it would be those guys. And I'm going to assume this right now, that somebody at BlackRock or Vanguard or State Street was the one that saw the Lucas Abrams cut of Tross. Okay, Kennedy has been fighting back under a rising mountain for a long time. But I find it fascinating she was able to do this. And nobody saw it coming. She went behind their backs once with Leslie Headland. She wasn't supposed to do that. Who cares what his name is? If I had his email address, I'd write him an email right now. We need someone to tell the Bobs to move their asses. Okay? This is imperative. I want you guys to understand, we are not going to have any Star Wars. Okay? if we don't get out there, A, protecting Favreau and Filoni and Rosario Dawson, whose politics I do not agree with at all, but I will fight to the death to keep them from firing her for over bullshit. All right, justice for Gina, fixing that mess. You know, we've got a fight on our hands. Yeah, it does. I mean, it does, but you know, he probably has an MBA from Wharton or something like that, you know. But it was one of those guys that saw that cut. Star Wars Meg is an idiot. They said they weren't going to replace her at all. You know, and if they do, people are going to get pissed. I mean, they can replace her with a new character, no one's going to care. Because right now, no one's going to watch it. Okay? I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. I mean, and I'm on Jon Favreau's side. But we got to hold their feet to the fire about this Kennedy thing. And she's been gaslighting them and acting like a 5-year-old. But now the rumors are she's running scared. Yeah, she is another Mike Zero. I got into an argument with her. I don't like her. You know, and you know, she's another YouTuber, and I don't like calling people out, but when I do, it's because I don't like what they do. Mike Zero makes money off of just making up shit, pulling shit out of his ass. It seems like quite a few other ones do too, and there are some really detestable shill YouTubers. Star Wars Explained, Alex and Molly are just they're the most vile couple on the planet right now. I mean, they're more vile than Bill and Hillary, and that's saying a lot. But I mean, when you see pictures of him dressed up in the Slave Leia costume with Molly standing over him, it's like, where's the strap on? I mean, they're just disgusting, fucking shitty people. And they're nasty. But I tell you, you know, you get all kinds of perks if you kiss ass. And that's the one thing I hate about all of them. Saunders, Ward, who's like, you know, the Machine Gun Jack McGurn, Frank Nitti, Tommy Karate of Lucasfilm. Well, he stays out of it, and I'm going to tell you something. That guy probably does have a better idea than anybody what's going on. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because he really does have connections to Lucasfilm. People do know him, and I wouldn't doubt that they talk. But he's probably playing the smart move by not talking about it. Okay? I mean, I have asked insiders if they want their story out, to please tell me. Well, until Pablo dragged him in. I mean, here's the deal. This wouldn't be going on if they had done Star Wars good, done George proud. This wouldn't be going on if they had treated the fans better. Kennedy allowed all this shit to go on because she hates our guts. Max really got into it with yeah, they did, but they didn't. But what's interesting is that they made him apologize. Lucasfilm, not Disney, was trying to get Gina to apologize. There's a difference, okay? And I mean, if you like, here's the deal. Kennedy's trying to blame everybody else and projecting what she's done on Dave and John and the fans. And no, she doesn't. And she wrote her own apology and it wasn't good enough. But you don't apologize to the woke mob. You never bend the knee because they won't stop. They fucking won't stop. They don't know how to stop. I have a bratty fucking shitty teenager in our family who's woke. And he disparaged my mother-in-law on Facebook. And I didn't get there in time to flatten him like a pancake. But next time I see him at some family function, I'm going to take him to the side and I'm going to say, you go and you apologize to your great aunt. You do it right now. Okay? What you said and what you did and what you do to everybody is unacceptable. You're 15 years old. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Apologize, sit down, shut up, and learn a little bit. You know, and that's, you know, what I would say to them. But that's what I would say to any of them. But, you know, you don't bend the knee to them. You tell them to fuck off. Oh, I'm not going to apologize. I have an opinion. I'm not apologizing for my fucking opinion. You know? I mean, and that's, you know, what everybody should say. My friend, I'm friends with Dana Lash. She wrote a book, Never Bend the Knee, you know? And she's right. Never bend the knee. Because they will keep coming. Okay? Now, Kennedy is saying all this stuff, but if you notice, even if it's not trending, there isn't a place on Disney's Facebook, on Disney Plus Facebook, on their channels, on the Star Wars channel, on YouTube, on their Facebook page, that isn't screaming hashtags fire Kathleen Kennedy. And I'm pretty sure that there's a way to look to see if that hashtag is bigger because they're not allowing it to trend. And they should. It is really sad that we can't have that trending, but you know, obviously somebody at Lucasfilm is connected to Twitter, and they're not. They basically made it so the algorithm won't keep that up. But Disney's got to notice. I would say Disney has to notice. So she's lying about it. And from what Tom said yesterday on both Midnight's Edge and World Class Bullshitters, she's apparently running scared. Now that's a rumor, but I tend to believe it. I do tend to believe she went into hiding. I think the stuff that when Doomcock, his last video when he posted stuff, that stuff had already happened. That was stuff that happened after Gina was, quote unquote, fired, okay? And it's very interesting to me how this is playing out. So we've got until March 9th. I was hoping we would hear about her Kennedy leaving tomorrow, yesterday, but of course we didn't get that. And this is frustrating. This is frustrating for the fans because we know what she's doing. Yeah, I mean, look at, and what she's trying to do is say it's not me, it's them. It's like, but all the comments say it's you. All right? I mean, that's the thing. But again, you're working with, and they're confronting. Yeah, and Wookiee supremacy, we're still trying to figure out why in the world they that Kennedy hired her, unless it was to cow the Bobs. But still, I mean, what, I mean, here's the deal. I'm going to walk you through how you do evidence. All right, by giving you an example. I once met a famous actor. It was in 2004, so it was almost 20 years ago. And I was in the best shape of my life. I looked fucking fantastic. My hair all dolled up and everything. And if I showed you guys a picture, you'd think it was Jessica Simpson. Honestly, that's who I looked like in the picture. And everybody that saw the picture was like, "Is that just no? It's me. It's me. It's Steph. I'm how many years older than she is?" And if you saw the picture, you'd think that we were dating. We have our arms around each other, la-di-da, very handsome guy, giant dickhead, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's a great picture. And it's really interesting to me, the things that people will assume just by a picture. Okay, that's the weakest circumstantial evidence you can have. Donald Trump, back in the 70s, when he was first getting, oh, I know, I saw, but you know what? I don't do Superman. And I was getting real frustrated about hearing about that, because I was there to find out what else was going on with Star Wars. To me, the last great superhero movie for Superman was Superman 2. Okay, that's it. I don't, and the last great superhero movie is The Dark Knight. Okay, I mean, I don't care about the Avengers. I don't like Marvel. And I'm really, yeah, it will. I mean, it's going to flop, and we all know it's going to flop. So let it. The people that know who the guy is aren't going to go see the movie. And, I do have friends that are in the comic book industry. I do have friends that do comics. And it's fun to hear them talk. Now, I will say this. Paramount, somebody sold the movie, the Lady J movie. I am a G.I. Joe fan. Okay. Lady J was my favorite female character in G.I. Joe. Flint was my favorite character. So, if they didn't sell it to somebody who's going to do a woke Lady J, that'll be pretty cool. All right. Because I am a G.I. Joe fan. I do. All this stuff with the ninjas and Snake Eyes. And, I was watching an excerpt from G.I. Joe the movie, and you've got Storm Shadow standing there with Snake Eyes and I guess Duke and everybody, and I'm like, he's Cobra! What the fuck is he doing there? I was like, no. Anyway, going back to Star Wars. The thing about it is, with this Headland thing and Harvey Weinstein, and I'm going to say, again, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant. What does she know about about it? They're not going to make Revan a female. All right, they're not going to do that. Don't worry about that. Anyway, so Headland gets hired. Here's the deal. You've got Miramax and Disney Studios sharing a lot. Wow, they share a lot. Irma Gerd, about what? And who fucking cares? About what? Harvey? Yeah. Anybody else? I think we're reading too much into this. I think what the Bobs have had an issue with is firing a woman. And she's daring them to do it now with the shit with Gina. And now the shit with Rosario. Okay? It's everything with everybody in Hollywood at one time or another was connected or knew about or had to deal with Harvey Weinstein. All right, everybody. And I mean everybody. Even people that hated his guts. Everybody. Because if you think Washington, D.C. is a small town, oh, she's daring them to do it. So she can scream victim. It's like, no, the only victims here are the fans, bitch. The only victims here are the fans. So, fuck you, get your shit and get out of here. Out. That's what I would say to her. But well, I don't think the Bobs have to worry about anything like that. I really, really don't. Because, how many guys in Hollywood have messed around with younger women? How many? We've got George Lucas married to a much younger woman. We got Harrison Ford married to a much younger woman whose name will not be mentioned here because I don't like her. We've got, what is it? Dolph Lundgren marrying a 20-year-old or 21-year-old. And he's like almost 70. I don't really have an issue as long as she's old enough. I don't have an issue like, I'm sorry. If you were so obsessed with getting a role that you fucked that old fucker, that fat fuck, and you got the role, you hoard yourself out. You are not a victim. Prostitution is a victimless crime. I am really shocked. Oh, I know. I know he did. I know. And it's, but I don't really think that this is the problem, especially with Chapek. Chapek came over from the parks. He didn't have anything to do with the movie industry. He probably doesn't know what the hell is going on with most of it. I mean, Feige walks in and explains to him, the plot to Avengers Endgame, and he's like this. I mean, it's like Dork Boy and Brain Dead are running Disney right now. And I'm serious. I can't believe some of the shit that has gone on for the last 3 years, and it's not changed. I mean, they slapped Pablo Hidalgo's hands twice. Big, fat, fucking hairy deal. Okay? Kennedy goes behind the backs of the big bosses twice. Once with Headland, and now with this Carano mess. And she caused the backlash. They know she caused that backlash. They know it. They can't be that stupid. I think I could actually figure out Alan Braverman, his Disney email, and he's the counsel. What's he telling people? What's Christine and McCarthy there? What's she? Why isn't she saying something? Then of course we got the big investors. We have to concentrate on getting them to notice what's going on. If I could dial a number and get Iger on the phone, I would beseech him to fire her. Beg him on my hands and knees. Please get rid of her. You're killing the franchise. Please. This shit's been going on for 3 years. Longer. Didn't you know that? I mean, why would you believe her now? I mean, I don't understand. I literally am speechless with some of this. And the reason is I don't understand it. And I really think that the board should get together and vote to vote her out. You know, they've got two women coming in or doing her job. And yeah, it is sabotage. She's committing sabotage. She's gaslighting them or attempting to, into taking basically all the money that they deemed for Favreau's projects, giving it back to her. That's what, and she's trying to destroy what Favreau's doing. She's basically trying to get him. She's basically trying to get him to walk away. All right, and it really makes me angry that she has the cojones, the ovaries to think she can do this. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't, I'm not equipped to emotionally deal with this shit. You know, it's unprofessional of her to be doing this. I mean, the way Doomcock described what she did and the way he described what she said is mind-blowing to me. You know, it's like, is she even aware of what she looks like? Does she even know? I mean, how bad this makes the franchise look? Does she? No, she doesn't care. All she cares about is herself, her stupid fucking politics, and her goddamn legacy. This is classic textbook narcissistic personality disorder. Now, you know what we should do? Let's go to Twitter. Le Doctor Twitter. Because that is Frank Marshall. All right, let's see. That is Frank Marshall. Let's see. All right, that was 3 hours ago. And I don't see any he's reposting a bunch of plays and Broadway shit. But no one tweeting him about his wife. Tweets and replies. I don't see anybody. Let's see tweets. I really, really don't. They're doing Diana the musical. Well, I mean, that's not neither here nor there. But no one on Twitter has said, hey, unless he's hiding the tweets, hey, you need to fix your wife. You need to talk to her. You need to do it now. I'm very shocked by that. I'm really, you know, oh, look. Okay, Yahtzee's trending. I mean, this fucking Twitter is just a disaster area. It really is. I mean, I'm really just kind of appalled. You know? Let's see, they're not going to tell us how many tweets are going on here. The latest, they're not gonna tell us how many. I mean, like there's this. All right, here. Let's look at these. I mean, I don't even know who any of these people are. I mean, it's just, this is, guys, this is unbelievable. I mean, what I just looked at. I mean, we're not getting, it's not trending, of course. And they're not letting me see it trend, but, you know, I mean, it's, it's there. I mean, there must be, I bet you there's hundreds of thousands of tweets at Lucasfilm, at Disney, at Iger. I don't know, but it would be interesting to see. You can actually see trending hashtags on Instagram. And every time I post fire Kathleen Kennedy, it says under 500. It's like probably under 500,000, to be honest. I mean, you can't ignore the downvotes and the comments. I mean, she can sit there and point to the downvotes and the ratio, and then she can sit there and point to the downvotes and the ratio and blame the Favreau and Filoni, and then they can point to the comments and say they're all about you. There's nothing about us. The comments are all about you. You, bitch. You. You, 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 you. You, 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 you. So, you know, her gaslighting, I think, is literally just a monkey dancing on a line. I mean, on a leash. I mean, it just doesn't. It's almost laughable that she can look. I don't even know if she's aware. I know she's got. Oh, I quit Twitter. When they banned the president. So yeah, all the YouTube comments are supportive of Gina and fire Kathleen Kennedy. They're negative towards Kennedy. They're not negative towards Favreau and Filoni. They're negative towards Kennedy. Now, I've seen people say stupid shit, fucking stupid shit about John in chats, and I'm like, he can't. What's he gonna say? What is he gonna say? What do you want him to say? I'm sure he offered to say something, and I'm sure Gina said no. I don't want you to get in trouble. She's protecting other people too, by the way. You know, Lucasfilm is a cesspool of shit right now. I mean, you remember what happened to my house yesterday? Toilet backed up all over the goddamn place, all over my husband's office, all over in part of the basement. We had to have the heating and plumbing guy show up and clean it, and it was a disaster, and it stunk. It was awful. I want to say this. It was like having Kathleen Kennedy and her flying monkey show up in my house. Just there they were. It's like, fuck. In fact, you know, I was sitting here thinking about it, and it was like, I bet if you took lamb's blood, put a circle with a pentagram in it, and then chanted, I summon thee 3 times, Kathleen Kennedy would manifest. You know, I know she would. Oh, and you have to tap your heels together while you say it. I mean, you know, but it's a cesspool. So Gina's trying to protect probably John and everybody else on the set of The Mandalorian. Okay? The people that went after her, and it was from inside Lucasfilm, Gina said so. I believe in her. I believe in what she said. They they've got a problem. Oh, Sina Dave, it's a new house, low flow toilets. You know, this kitchen's beautiful, but there are problems with the cabinets. They weren't put in right. We've got railings that need to be readjusted and fixed out on the deck. You know, and grout to be fixed, and I probably have the backsplash repurposed in the kitchen, and you know, it's a great house. I mean, the floors are gorgeous. One of the biggest selling points is this hardwood engineered floor. It's absolutely beautiful, you know, and it puts. I mean, oh, it's just nasty. It's fucking. The thing about it is, it wouldn't be bad if it was just water, but it wasn't. It's just yuck. I sat out here with two candles, Christmas candles that are scented, so I could like listen to Midnight's Edge and not pass out from the gross. Yeah, well, it's just, you know, it is what it is. I mean, you know, if we won the $1 billion lottery, I'd probably pay off this house, probably put it up for rent, and rent it out. It's engineered wood, so it's real, but it's not, and it's durable because if we had real wood floors, my dog would freak me out every day. I mean, you know how big he is, right? Yeah. Muddy paws, big heavy dog. He's an idiot. He doesn't know his own strength, and he doesn't know when to quit. He's rattling his cage now. There's not cage, it's kennel. And I would take him out to the park today, but everybody and their brother's at the park today. And I'm going to tell you something. I don't like having to deal with people who don't train their dogs. Who don't train their dogs, who see him and say, oh, can I pet him? And of course, he's jumping up and down like a kangaroo, only weighs 100 pounds. Remember how little he was? He's huge now. He's going to get bigger. He's 26 inches tall. He'll probably end up being 28 or 29 inches tall. And he'll weigh about 130 pounds. Oh yeah, she wants what she wants to do, and this is another thing that came up. The word on the street, and I think this proves that Favreau and Filoni are doing it, is they're retconning and getting rid of the sequel trilogy. Kojak is a Shiloh shepherd. Shilohs are, yeah, everybody hears you, dog. Nobody's impressed. Let's see if I can find a picture of him. On my thing here. I've got tons. All right. Ooh, good. No. Now those are from earlier. Why don't all my pictures show up here? I do not understand. Okay, here we go. This is not a recent picture of him, but this is more what he looks like than, here. That's him, but he's bigger now. What did Anton say? No, Shiloh Wren. No. Kojak. He's named after his mom and dad, Coco and Jackson. And everybody else, and everybody at the Navy base thinks that he's named after Telly Savalas' character from the 70s TV show. I'm like, you know, I saw this coming. And I was really, really, really pissed when my husband's like, but it's cool. It's like, that I hated that show. I did. All right. But anyway, yeah, so she probably sees the writing on the wall for the sequel trilogy, and she's trying to stop. They're trying to get Ahsoka because that's where it's all gonna be changed. And she's throwing a fit. And I just think, ciao, bye, Wookiee. I just think that it's time for her to go. And it's like, we're not being listened to. The fans aren't being listened to. They don't. It's like, Favreau and Filoni know. They probably watch our videos. I wouldn't doubt that if John himself doesn't watch Doomcock or Midnight's Edge or whatever, he has somebody that works for him watching our videos. But does Disney? Does Disney even care? I mean, the moment Gina was fired and the backlash started going, that should have been the signal. Get Kennedy out of here. Do it now. Okay. But they're just sitting there like, I'm sorry. I'm impatient. But this shit's been going on since, I started my channel in 2016, early set 2017, or mid 2017. And, but this shit's been going on since 2013. Attacking the fans, maligning the fans, disrespecting the fans, libeling and slandering fans, particular fans. Lucasfilm's been doing that. I mean, when I saw some of the stuff that Pablo has said to people in the past, he's lucky that he didn't get a lawyer letter saying cease and desist, or we're going to sue your ass for everything you got. He's really, really lucky. Lucasfilm itself is lucky that that didn't happen. I mean, I've heard that Pablo verbally on the internet abused a fan so bad they tried to commit suicide. Think about it. Think about it. This is what people are pissed off about, and the resentment has been growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's like, it exploded in 2017, 2018 after TLJ came out. Go back and look at my first videos, my first reactions. I was sobbing. I knew we were going to get garbage because when the reviews came out and people were spoiling it, I'm like, this can't be real. This can't be true. They can't be doing this. And they did. It was a dumpster fire. I was so upset. I was sobbing. And they enjoy it. This is, I mean, you have to understand, people like Pablo Hidalgo and even Kennedy are sadists. They enjoy other people's pain. They enjoy causing other people pain. And it's one of those things where you're like, it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. Okay? What you put out in the universe is what you get back. All right? And if you put shit out there, you're going to get more shit back. Okay? And that's what they've been doing. And so we know the backlash on that. And then Solo failed. And that should have been the signal to the Bob, to Mr. Iger, as CEO, Kennedy has to be dealt with. Okay? I don't know why they didn't fire her then. I still think her reputation was intact, etc. there. And, the fact that he couldn't find anybody to come and take her place. And then last summer, when the rumor was she was looking around and couldn't find any place that wanted her, and they blamed COVID. Hey, Dave, it's all right. It's really funny to me. And the reason simply is this. They're using COVID as an excuse for not hiring the bitch. That's plain as the nose on anybody's face. And that's the truth, okay? Nobody wants her. Nobody. Nobody. I don't want her. You don't want her. God doesn't want her. Nobody wants her. Okay? What are they going to do? I mean, why keep her around, though? And these are the things, like, why just have her there? She's got 2 projects that are her own. They're never going to be made by Disney. She could take them with her and do whatever she wanted. And it's literally, to me, disgraceful, the amount of incompetence surrounding getting rid of her. You know, I'm. It is. I mean, Spielberg walking away should be the big signal that no one wants Kennedy around anymore, and we could actually fire her, and we would be okay. The fans would like it. But no, I can't imagine the lies they're going to give, Buckley and who is this guy? Fink and O'Hanley on the 9th. I can't, because this is gonna be hilarious. I mean, it's one of those things where you want to be a fly on the wall and then whisper in someone's ears. Well, I don't, she's got her own production company. Frank has turned basically looking at streaming, and she didn't option it, he optioned Blood Covenant by Michael Franzese, and I honestly can't wait to see that. I'm gonna watch it. I mean, to me, it's not her thing that they're doing, it's his thing they're doing. Because I can imagine that bitch wanting to option Blood Covenant. Okay? I can't. But here we are. You sit there and think, why isn't she working with her husband? Why isn't she looking around saying, I don't need this anymore? And it's all about her legacy. And it's all about her being a hateful bitch. And it's all about her trying to burn everything down on the way out, like she said she was gonna. Because she's batshit crazy. Because she's a narcissist. Because she's a sociopath. I mean, look at what Doomcock said. If you mention Mandalorian to her face, she will fire you if you work there. It's true. You know, she does that. And that's a sign of a goddamn sociopath. It's not Miranda Priestley. I mean, it's not, again, you look at the women who did things when I was a kid. Margaret Thatcher, Golda Meir. They didn't treat people like shit, okay? I mean, but that was competently done. She's more like a rabid Wolverine, a rabid pack of Wolverines in a china shop. Shitting on everything, breaking everything, biting everybody, fighting with the other Wolverines, and that's it. I mean, that's what she is. I mean, it's at least that's what she is in Star Wars. This has got to end. This really does have to end. And I really wish, like, I don't know if you guys that live like in Australia and England and Germany and elsewhere, if we have other foreign people, I don't know if you know who James O'Keefe is, but he runs a nonprofit news website, media site called Project Veritas. And he has gotten people fired for, doing things. He's basically shown what the left was going to do this last year, which is, I mean, had some of the Antifa leaders on tape saying they were going to burn shit down. He actually got the phone number for CNN, one of their conference calls that they have every morning with the CEO there, and called in and said hi, and basically said, you guys are going to be featured on Project Veritas. And Jeffrey, what's his name? It's not Katzenberg. It's Kurtz. I can't remember. And he goes, that's fine. The CEO just says, that's fine. Hangs it up. And then you hear him say, how the hell did he get that number? It was hilarious. But he does stuff like that. It'd be very great if someone at Lucasfilm would tape her attacking John and Dave and get it to Project Veritas, because they would have it everywhere. Disney would be so goddamn humiliated. Favreau and Filoni would be pissed. Iger would be trying to smooth their ruffled feathers and going, I got to get rid of her now. That's another way to get rid of her, is to get her on tape saying something reprehensible about Iger, about Disney, about Chapek, about the board, about Favreau and Filoni, about George Lucas, about something, about the fans. You get her on tape and then get it out there. They would take it and run with it. I know James O'Keefe. I know James would take it and run with it. He is basically, I mean, and I'm going to tell you this, if Andrew Breitbart was still alive, he'd probably already have stuff. He'd probably be the one getting all the news and then disseminating it to Breitbart.com. And, I mean, he was the one that got Anthony Weiner kicked out of Congress. Do you guys remember? Remember the press conference? There's a big press conference at one of the biggest hotels down in New York City. And he actually was in town, so he walked in to watch it. No, they're not. They're not. And they probably are on Kennedy's side. I wouldn't, when the rumor comes out, here's the deal. I really think that Disney's going to have to talk to whoever wrote the Deadline article about Gina and basically say, if you do that again, your press credentials to anything that Disney puts out there are gone. You're done. You're not getting access anymore. And I tell that to Deadline Hollywood. This is bullshit. You did not act on anybody else's behalf except for hers. And she represents Disney. And when she did that, she didn't represent Disney. Okay? This is bullshit. And that's what they should say. They won't, but that's what they should say. But I'm going to say this. They could probably make it really hard in the press for her. They are Disney after all. They come with flights of lawyers. And they're not afraid to bitch slap you. The possibilities, like how would you get rid of her? Well, she already has more than enough rope to hang herself, and she did. She basically did everything wrong. She basically did everything in opposite land. She basically made it very difficult for anybody to get anything done with Star Wars. She basically made it so any successes were going to get beaten down on because of her actions. Not anything that Gina did, not anything that Favreau and Filoni did. They don't get involved with this shit. Well, maybe they are. I'm sitting here waiting. I'm an impatient woman. Shocking? Yeah. I don't tolerate having to wait on things that should be done like that. I don't like standing in line. I don't like waiting for someone to do something that they should have done a long time ago. I don't like incompetence. I don't like being manipulated when it's obvious that the person is trying to manipulate me. I don't like it. I don't think anybody does. And I am very loud about that. Do not fuck with me. Okay? And oh my God. But think about it. Think about it, Dave. Go look and see Claudia Gray's latest piece of shit novel. All it is about sex talk. Can Jedis have sex? this is what it's come to. Imagine. It's horrifying to me. It is absolutely horrifying to me. And then when you go, why is this in there? It's for kids. Really? Why is this in there? And that, if you're going to say this is for kids and then you do that, I'm like, ha. Oh, come on, man. Just see her new purple haircut? I mean, she's such a fucking, to quote Mr. H about Justina Ireland, she's a bloody cow. I mean, and that's Claudia Gray. They both are. I mean, Anna was saying that she was the nicest one, and I'm like, have you seen what she said about white men and calling them dudes, white dudes? I mean, how old is that fucking bitch anyway? 5? I mean, we're dealing with teenagers' mentality though, and that's the thing. But yeah, the attempt at gaslighting is obvious. Well, Warner Brothers is firing people. What they did with Superman and Lois Lane, they fired the SJW writer who wanted Clark Kent's mom and dad to be a mixed race, black for diversity. They fired the guy. So that shit is happening. It looks to be like at least some production staff and some, showrunners are getting sick of it. So what they need to do at Lucasfilm is once she's gone, because she is leaving. I mean, her behavior is one that's, burning everything down. This is scorched earth. This is exactly what she said she was going to do. This is scorched earth. And I'm sure part of the whole, this nonsense, this nonsense will end or I'm going to burn it all down or whatever she said to, I think it was Chapek. I know, but hard work. That's JJ. He's not making the TV show. Okay, that's two completely different things. JJ is a guilty white asshole. Okay? JJ is a dickhead. Okay? JJ can't write a story that's above a 3rd grade reading level. Okay? It's really, and it's really funny, but Mecca Random just posted a video, and I haven't watched it yet, where she basically says the only reason why what? You don't like that? Really, John? I mean, I've posted pictures of her before. The one from the what looked like the panel in the Brady Bunch when she's doing this, and her hair is this blue, is this color, lighter pink, it's blue purple. It's like, now we get why Admiral Holdo sucked so bad. Oh, I know. I mean, Chris Terrio sitting there with that dumb look on his face, and next to him he's got the novel Dark Empire, and it's like, gee, really? There's a sequel to Return of the Jedi. I'm like, it's no. So, I mean, and again, I don't do, oh, he is a waste of space. I don't do comic book stuff, but, I did, like I said, my favorite Superman movie is Superman 2. I mean, I love Christopher Reeve. He was a great actor, and I'm gonna say he's a great horseman, a really good rider. And he suffered an accident that that makes me scared. You can wear a helmet, all this stuff, but if you land right, you're gonna break your neck and you're gonna be paralyzed. And that's why when I ride my horse, I'm extremely cautious. Probably too cautious with her because she's hot. She likes to go. But she's a thoroughbred and she's a former racehorse. And so she's like, and that's her breed. She's a very quiet mare most of the time. But oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. When she wants to, she can be the biggest goddamn diva I've ever met in my whole life. The word is, you ask a stallion, you tell a gelding, you discuss it with a mare, and pray if it's a pony. Kay and I have a lot of discussions. No shit discussions where she's like, I don't want to do that. And eventually, after an hour, we do it. Like, she getting her saddle on. There are times when she wouldn't stand still. I'd have her in the round pen. She wouldn't stand still. And it wasn't that the saddle hurt her. She doesn't want to do it. So finally she'd give in after. I mean, can you imagine? She'd just let me saddle her up. We'd already be done. I'd already have her hosed off, the water scraped off, and kicked her back out into the pasture with her buddies. But no, we had to sit here and do this all morning long because you're being a spoiled goddamn brat and you don't want it. Again, mares can be like teenage girls. Really bratty. They can be shitty as they possibly can be. It's very rare that you get a mare that you can actually use for lessons. Because they're just, I've had a trainer tell me mares are smarter than geldings. And the reason why is because they have more hoof in the game because you can't fix them. You can't spay a mare like you can a dog. So you're stuck. I mean, if you got a mare, you're stuck with, who am I going to meet in the morning? Am I going to meet gentle, sweet Kay or the psycho bitch from hell? And, that's just the way it is. But back to Kennedy. So I think that her gaslighting isn't working. I think that it's obvious when you go to the Star Wars pages, channels, that people, if Kathleen was a mayor, sent her to New Holland at the auction, some meat buyer from Canada or Mexico would buy her, and off she'd go. I mean, I don't want to deal with a horse with that attitude. No. And tell you something else. The biggest pains in the ass mares I've ever known in my life are Appaloosa mares and chestnut mares, the redheads, the gingers. Oh my God, it's true. It really is. I'm like, what in the hell is wrong with her? She's just a bitch. I mean, that's who she is, Kay's a bay horse. She's got a brown body, and in the summertime it's a bright reddish brown with a black mane and tail, and she's got 3 little white socks and black legs and a little white star on her forehead and black, so that's the most common color for horses. For thoroughbreds. If we could afford another horse, I'd probably buy, there's a buckskin mare here that I really, really like. She's a lesson horse, and I'm absolutely in love with her. We have the money to buy her. It's just the rent every month is $400 a month. It's not expensive, but we like to buy things like guns and ammunition when we can find the ammo. We like to buy that kind of stuff. and we've got, the stuff in the house to fix up. So it's, if we want $1 billion, I'd probably buy 1,000 acres out around the mountains in Jackson and put a beautiful big house there with a big movie viewing room out in Wyoming. And I'd bring Kay out there and I'd have a bunch of other horses. I mean, I would just, and we'd have a rifle range and a trap shooting range and a sporting clays range. Okay, and then we'd have places to hunt. I mean, I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't care. I mean, and in Wyoming, it's constitutional carry, so you'd see me walking around. I don't know though if I would do that, just because you make yourself a target. But anyway, probably wouldn't. It's the less people know, the better. You know what I mean? Just assume, and that's good enough. And the people that you don't see carrying are the ones, if they are, probably the dangerous ones, because they're not the target. They're not going to be the target. Okay. Anyway, so she's gaslighting us, trying to gaslight Iger, but when you look at the evidence, it's like all the fingers are pointing back at her. And I'm sure they're trying to figure out how the hell this all happened. And they're trying to figure out who at Lucasfilm was manipulating trending. Oh, yeah, he's got 800 acres in Jackson still. I think he does. Yeah, he still has 800 acres there. In fact, I'm going to say this. If I had been him to close down California, guess where I would have been? Jackson. Yeah, Lucas has got one. Ford has got one. They moved. They went there because Aspen was too fucking, everybody in Hollywood was in Aspen. I mean, I love John Denver. He's one of my favorite singers. But when he made Aspen famous, every asshole in the world showed up. Okay? And it takes away from the beauty of the place and what makes it magical. Too many people, it's like whatever, it's like where they have the Sundance Film Festival in Utah. That's a beautiful place. But assholes from Hollywood descend, and then it's like, but, so she can't really hide the reaction anymore. I mean, the reaction isn't at Favreau and Filoni, it's at her. People are reacting to her now. And the fact that she is still, quote unquote, president of Lucasfilm and got away with this, we think, we assume, people are pissed and we want action. You can't, I'm sorry, we can't be gaslit. We see what's going on. Bob Iger can go on YouTube right now, go to the Star Wars channel, look at the last video and go, fuck. And realize, look at all the comments, and realize that, and I'm going to tell you something else. I think they're leaving the comments there. They're not deleting them. They're not stopping them. They're not hiding them. Because I think he wants evidence. That's a theory of mine. That would make sense. Anyway, I got to go. Take the idiot out in a little while, and then go up and clean off the horse because she's a mud pile. She's a brown mud pile right now. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to go on here and just talk a little bit and stream of consciousness, whatever. But just be aware of the gaslighting, all right? And don't let other people get you down. There's a lot going on we don't know. People are not being very forthcoming with what they do know. And I'm sure it's to protect sources. But, as Cameron said, don't lose hope. And I am not going to lose hope. I'm not. I know we'll win this in the end. I know it. Star Wars isn't dead, no matter what any of the negative assholes who just love to say that think. Okay? we're still in this, and it still can, and we can get her out. If they can get the Snyder Cut, we can get our Star Wars back, and we can get her fired, and the SJWs at Lucasfilm fired too. So this is Steph, signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy. Remember, tip the Wookiee bartenders on the way out, 20% or more. They appreciate that. Talk to y'all later. Thanks, John42.